Hi, this is a demo of Montara. Montara is an AI-powered data development and data ops platform that manages the end-to-end data development lifecycle for you. For this demo, let's assume that I'm a data analyst or a data engineer and I need to make changes to code that runs as part of our data pipelines in production. In Montara, you can write SQL or Python as well as integrate with and write dbt code. Let's get started. I'm now in the Web IDE. Before I make any changes, I want to make sure I understand the possible impact of the changes I'm about to make. So I'll switch to the Lineage tab. The Lineage tab shows me the dependencies between the different data assets, and I can see that the model I'm about to change is used by the Management KPIs report as well as another model. I'll be sure to test both when I'm done with my changes. Okay. I can now go back to the editor and make the small change I wanted to make for this demo. I can preview the changes to make sure I get the right results back directly in Montara without having to switch to a different tool. Okay, the results look good. Before we move on, let me show you the AI Companion. Montara is an AI-powered data development platform, and the AI Companion can help you do many things. Here we can ask it to explain the code to us, so if I'm maintaining someone else's code, this can be a real help. I'll go ahead and save my changes. Here is where Montara workflow comes into play. Montara understands the context of what I'm doing and can recommend the best next action. In this case, it alerts me that I've made changes to my code and I should verify that my data validations are updated correctly. I'll accept the suggestion. The Data Validation tab allows me to specify which data validation tests I want to run on the data that this model generates. As you can see, you can choose a variety of data validation tests with a click of a button, and Montara will write the test code for you and run the tests when this model gets executed. For example, I can specify that isSuperhost column can only accept true or false values. I'm going to save my changes and switch over to the Documentation tab. The Montara AI Companion automatically suggests documentation for the model and each of its columns. I can see that I have two columns that are not documented, so I'll go ahead and accept the AI Companion suggestions. And of course, you can edit these or override them. Now, before I roll out this version to production, I'm going to test my changes. Montara will set a local test environment with production data for me and run my changes to verify that everything works. By default, only changed models get executed in the test, but I can easily add other models to the test if I want to. I'm going to go ahead and start the test. Montara now sets up the whole test environment for me, allocating system resources, and in a minute I'll be able to see the test executing live. This is the live view of the test. You can see the model running according to the lineage order, with the model I made changes to executing downstream from two dbt models, etc. The test ran successfully. I can see exactly which models were executed as part of the test, how many rows are in each table, the data validations that ran as part of the test, and if there are any errors, I can look up the detailed logs. Now that I've tested my changes locally, I can go ahead and create a version. My version is ready now, but before I release it to production, I'm going to have Montara run a pipeline using this new code version in staging to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Montara is now setting up the staging environment with the new code version and will start running my full pipeline in a few seconds. I can now see the full pipeline getting executed in the correct order using the new code version. Okay, the pipeline executed successfully. Before I release to production, I can do one more thing to verify the quality of the code. Montara has a complete ad hoc analysis tool that I can use to run queries against the data in staging to inspect the results to make sure that there are no anomalies or outliers that my data validation tests did not catch. I'm going to use a report I created ahead of time. I'll switch to the staging environment and run my report. Okay, looking at the report, I see that the results are what I expect them to be, with very few outliers. I can create and run multiple such reports, change the visualization, have these run automatically after pipeline runs, and even get a PDF with the results sent to my Slack. I can now release my version to production with confidence. Now that I've released the version to production, I'll need to set up a data pipeline. Montara makes it extremely easy to create, run, and manage data pipelines. You can add models to a pipeline by simply selecting them from the UI, and Montara will orchestrate the pipeline for me. I can easily create a schedule for my pipeline, run it manually, or trigger it using a webhook from Airflow or some other external system. And of course, for every pipeline, you can see a view of historical data with all the details you need. Now, if you're running data pipelines, it's very important to monitor their performance and quality, and Montara Observability does just that. For every data pipeline, you can see runtimes and the version of the code that the data pipeline was using. You can drill down into any data pipeline and see performance over time, as well as the models that are part of the data pipeline, and even drill down into the performance of each and every model. Observability includes monitors and alerts as well. You can set up alerts to trigger when a monitor detects anything from duplicate rows, out-of-range values, or any custom logic that you want to apply. Now, if you're doing data development, you know you need a data catalog so you can document your data assets and make it easy for stakeholders to find the data they are looking for. Montara provides a built-in data catalog that includes documentation of every model, including columns, row count, and much more. You can see the lineage graph for the model, the data validations applied to the model, and even the code itself. Moreover, Montara also provides a full-fledged column-level lineage tool so you can see the full lineage graph for all your data assets.